Welcome back to Lamplight City. We are on the case of the Justice Killer, who is also the flower shop burglar. And we are hot on the case. So we're done here. So now we gotta check out the other murder sites. So let's go check out. This is where Hannibal Kirkland worked.
Well, that doesn't look good. This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
To employee area. That shit blew up.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? Then maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims.
Sanford Mims.
Go ahead, but make it snappy.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound.
Ooh.
Checked and serviced regularly.
Look at this guy.
This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
Alright, so the Redites blowing shit up again.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine. If you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his
So
machine.
now,
I'll see what I can do.
we got cases upon cases. Fish, just go lay down.
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear, one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
So you're not going to tell us anything
Are you
about that?
familiar with the Justice Killer?
The who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
Okay.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing.
Hey, that area is for workers only.
Dude, I'm trying to figure
My
out who blew your
apologies.
shit up.
This place sure...
Alright. So let's move on to the next one, I guess. This is the bridge construction. Was this Reggie? No. This is Enos.
Safe for only 25 men at once. I used to draw the line at 2. Huh, they seem to be making pretty decent progress.
It's amazing how they made bridges back then.
I wonder if it would be any fun to tie yourself to that thing and go for a few spins.
Excuse me.
Alright, who's
Hey,
this guy?
what are you doing here? This is a construction area.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the murder of a man who used to work here.
Fordham? You the same man who got Laura Dupre arrested?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, good to meet you. I'm Gerard. My sister Amelie used to work as her cook. Would tell me stories about how horrible Dupre was. Good to see some justice done for a change.
Nice.
Glad to be of service. And good to meet you as well, Gerard.
So he should help us
So
out.
you say you looking into a murder? You talking about Bowditch?
Yes, that's right. I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Nah, should be okay to talk for a few minutes.
I mean, he's just sitting there hanging out.
Do you normally work in construction?
Mostly. Sometimes I be doing other jobs here and there. But I'm lucky to have gotten this job. I think it will keep me in work for a long time. Which is good, because I have 3 mouths to feed at home.
Be sure to watch yourself then. I hear these types of jobs can be dangerous.
Oh, believe me, I know. One slip up and bam! That's the end of you. But I always watch myself.
That's fucking crazy.
You worked with Ennis Bowditch, right?
Because he's right.
What can you tell me
slip.
about him?
Ennis was fun to talk to, always telling stories. Pretty sure most of them were made up. But it made time go by faster while we worked, and he made me laugh. We weren't really friends, but it's duller without him around, you know?
Do you know what Bowditch did on his off time?
Not really. I only saw him on the job. But I know he was seeing a woman.
Okay.
I forget what he said her name was, though.
Did he mention anything else about her?
Oh, sure, but I don't think they're the type of thing that would help you, if you get my meaning.
Oh, little nasty perv.
Right. Anything of a non-personal nature that might help me find her?
Yes, he mentioned she worked as the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
Nice.
I see.
Okay.
Thanks.
We've been there.
Do you know any details concerning Bowditch's murder?
I only found out when the boss man told us.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Well, everyone here liked him. I don't think he owed no one money or nothing like that. But maybe someone at his other job wasn't so friendly with him. Who knows?
Other job?
Ennis also worked at the docks as a longshoreman.
Well, that would have been handy to know sooner. Better late than never, I guess.
There it is.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice killer? No, I don't know anything about that. Who is he?
A serial murderer. He's the one who killed Ennis Bowditch.
And you trying to find him?
That's the plan.
Well then, I wish you luck. Ennis didn't deserve to die the way he did. I hope that murdering bastard gets what he deserves.
So, the Gascon-Chumley Bridge is finally being worked on.
That's right. The project started up again shortly after the election. That Leroy, he's not wasting any time. Maybe a good thing for this city and for the country.
We'll have to wait and see. How long before the bridge is complete, do you think?
They say it will take 5 years, but who knows? As long as the work is steady, you won't find me complaining.
Yeah. 5-year contract, basically.
How's your sister doing?
Good. She still works for the Dupre family, but with that monster Laura gone, she's much happier. She tells me the family is acting like the madame never existed, and the husband raised Amelie's pay, too.
That does sound like an improvement.
Nice.
It's just a shame 2 others had to die for it.
Would you happen to know anything about the Redites?
I heard some of the other men talking about them, but I don't ask too many questions. Seems to me they just a bunch of angry and confused people with no other way to express themselves than lashing out. I admit I feel sorry for them.
You're not worried about Steam Tech putting you out of a job?
Nah. Machines can only do so much. You still need a man to make them work or to fix them when they're broke.
Got a point.
I think them Redites are just making a big fuss over nothing.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem,
Alright,
boss.
so we found out Enos had a girlfriend. We gotta find who Ruby is. Found who sabotaged the iron mill. Okay, she's at the coffee house. There's a lot of shit going on.
Blank surfaces don't stay that way for very long around here. Blank surf... This sign could use a fresh coat of paint.
You wanna get on it, Bill?
Ah, the chum. You can never truly get away from it as much as you may try.
Alright, Trevor Hastings.
Trevor Hastings, is that you?
Why, Detective Fordham. Fancy seeing you again. What brings you down to the docks?
I'm trying to track down a serial murderer, who I believe is the same man who was breaking into the flower shop.
You don't say. I wish I could help you, but the guy never came back after the night you and your partner came around.
Huh.
Where is your partner anyway?
He didn't make it.
Oh, he's around.
Well, give him my regards. Now, if you'll excuse
How does he
me,
not
I need
know
to
what
get this
happened?
crate back, or Cecilia will have my head on a platter.
Of course. Good seeing you again.
He's around? That's probably the most clever thing you've said in months. Well done.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings. Keep up the good work, Mr.
Alright, let's go inside the shipping office here.
Huh? What? Who is it?
Hello, sir. I was wondering if I could ask you a few
Does
questions.
he have a monocle? Tell me he's
Go
got a
ahead,
monocle.
but make it quick. Time is money, after all.
No, no monocle.
What does your work here involve?
I'm in charge of tracking and cataloging all the cargo that passes through here.
Wow.
I receive the shipping manifest and make sure that things get unloaded and sent to the right places.
And you do all this by yourself?
Oh, of course not. I'm in charge of administration. A team of workers does all the heavy lifting.
Did you employ a man named Ennis Bowditch?
Enos.
I did, yes. He only worked for me occasionally, but he was always punctual and performed his job well. I learned recently that he had been killed. It was a tremendous shame. Workers of his caliber are so hard to come by.
Do you have any information relating to Mr. Bowditch's murder?
I'm afraid not. The truth is, I knew very little about him. It's the same with most of my men.
Well, why don't you stop being
I
a
have a
dick and
business to
talk
run,
to
you see.
people?
It affords me very little time to socialize.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I believe I saw a headline in the newspaper recently mentioning that name, but I dismissed it as fear-mongering nonsense. There are more important things I need to worry about.
But the Justice Killer is directly responsible for the death of one of your workers.
Oh? Is that right? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. What my men get up to in their off time is none of my business.
Wow, this guy is even worse than you, Miles.
Thank you for your time. I'll let you return to work.
Right you are.
Well, this was a dead end, huh? I mean...
Keep up the...
Alright. I mean, I guess we'll just keep moving east.
Not in much of a hurry to clean up in here. Self-portrait as
We've already looked at all this stuff.
asleep at a coffee house. Give me an old-fashioned tea kettle any day. All that metal and tubing
big
just
ass
to serve a
coffee
hot cup
machine.
of coffee?
Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
You've been working here for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I remember you from back
Oh,
in.
yes. Coming up on 3 years. It's been a real pleasure getting to know all the regulars. They've come to be sort of like a second family. By the way, whatever happened with you and your lady friend?
I beg your pardon?
Well, that nice lady you met in here a couple of times. Did it work out between the two of you?
We lived together.
No, that was strictly business.
Right. Well, if you see her, tell her I said hello.
I understand you were involved with Ennis Bowditch.
Was involved, yes. I haven't spoken to him in nearly 2 months.
Oh.
Were you not aware of his death then?
What? Ennis is dead?
Well, this is awkward.
Indeed. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news.
How did it happen?
I'm afraid he was murdered.
Murdered? By who? And why?
Okay.
Those are exactly the questions I'm trying to answer myself.
Was he a
Oh, I
wife beater
see.
too?
Are you a detective?
A private investigator, yes.
Well, I'll answer what I can. If it helps any, that is.
I'm certain it will. What was your relationship with Mr. Bowditch like?
Oh, well, it was nice at first. He was a proper gentleman-like. But then something changed.
Oh?
Something always
It's like
changes.
I told Ruby. I think he might have got hit on the head at work, because he seemed to be a completely different person. He'd get angry for no reason. He even...
Ruby.
Well, that bit's not important. At first, I thought he was just going through some rough times, but after a while I realized he'd changed for the worse. So I broke things off. He wasn't too happy about it, but I wasn't going to stick with a man like that.
Okay.
This friend of yours, Ruby, did she know an MP named Percival McDonough?
I'm not sure. Ruby knows a lot of men.
Is that so?
Well, no, I don't mean...
Ah.
It's just...
She's a hooker?
Damn it, I mean my big mouth. She'll have my guts for garters now.
It's all right. No one's in trouble. But I think I'd like to speak with Ruby. Could you tell me where I can find her?
No. You see, she moves around quite a lot. Never in the same place for more than a night or two.
Oh.
Right. I think she's given us a clear picture of what Ruby does for a living. Normally, I'd be all for pressing this girl more until she cracks, but I like her. I think we'll be able to find Ruby without causing her more discomfort.
Well, thank you for the information. You've been very helpful.
Ding.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice killer? Is that some kind of pesticide?
Pesticide.
No, it isn't. Never mind. I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sabotage, servant girl. Okay, we're not done with her yet. Locate Ruby. She didn't know who Ruby was. Just keep moving along.
You there! What are you doing?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find out about...
No time for that now! Get in here and shield your eyes!
I beg your pardon?
Just
Maybe they should have
do
locked
it.
the door. If...
What's going on exactly?
Shh! Everything ready, Alex? 3, 2,
We're not shielding our eyes.
1, go! Amazing! It works! It works!
Did you carry a light bulb?
What works?
Etheric lamps! Our experiment was a success!
What exactly have we wandered into here, Miles? Too bad you didn't get a chance to read that sign before their little experiment.
Safety first, wear your goggles.
There's the bunch of crap they used to build street lamps with. I wouldn't get too close to that thing. It might end up turning you inside out. So this is where all the lamps in the city come from. I can't believe I never bothered finding out before.
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
This guy's just all about it.
What is it you do here exactly?
Oh, several things. This is the main hub of the city's Department of Illumination. It's really just a grandiose way of saying that this is where all affairs related to street lamps and public lighting are taken care of. But, in addition to sending out lamplighters or mechanics to repair damaged lamps, we also do research into new methods of illumination. That's what my personal specialization is. I help develop and test more efficient ways of lighting our streets. I guess you could consider me a modern-day Prometheus. Yes.
More like an everyday pretentious.
You worked with a man named Burley Cause, is that right?
Yes, I heard he was killed. Such a senseless tragedy. It's a shame he missed out on our demonstration. He was really interested in etheric technology.
Wasn't he concerned about losing his job to these technological advances?
He had no reason to. It's been made clear to all the workers that there will always be a place for us, even if our jobs are made obsolete.
Really?
Unlike some other places, we take care of our own here at the Lamplight Depot.
Lamplight City!
How noble. But I'm pretty sure he's full of more hot air than the HMS Lenore.
Is there anything you know about Mr. Cause's personal life
Alright, let's
that
get
might
into
be
the
relevant?
stuff.
I know he was married, but I don't believe he had any children. Oh, and he used to talk about his love for fishing.
Fishing.
Could you give me his home address? Perhaps his wife will be willing to speak with me.
Yes, certainly. He lived at 820 Orchard Avenue, apartment 2A.
Thank you for the information.
Ding!
Do you know any details about Mr. Cause's murder?
Unfortunately, I don't. The police were here asking questions, but they didn't give me many details.
Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Not at all. Burley was very friendly, always treated everyone around here with respect. You know, it's sad to think that for all our leaps forward, we're still really just a bunch of savages.
That's true.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I've read about it in the newspaper. A horrible business. It makes me wish we could install more street lamps to keep this city safer at night. Someday, I hope to realize that dream. Then we'll really deserve to be called Lamplight City.
You think brighter streets will stop serial murderers?
It's well known that crime rates are lower in Lyon and Worcester, and they have many more street lamps per square mile.
Nice.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of wealth in those areas. Has to be all about the lighting.
You mentioned something about etheric lamps?
Yes! Weren't you paying attention to our demonstration? You have just witnessed history!
History!
What I witnessed was a blinding flash of light.
Exactly! That flash was the result of years of painstaking research and experimentation. It means that not only does ethericity exist, but it can be used as a source of illumination. If these experiments continue to be successful, as I suspect they will, we'll have etheric street lamps before the end of the decade. Imagine lamps that burn twice as bright, 4 times as long. Oh, this will change everything.
Save on bulbs.
And if it's like anything else we've seen, it'll put a lot of people out of work, too.
With
But the
all these
Redites.
promises of technological advancement, have the Redites given you any trouble?
Oh, those tech-fearing dolts. Yes, I'm sorry to say that we've gotten threats from them. They have yet to carry any out, which is unsurprising.
How so?
Groups like that are all bluster and no backbone.
Ooh.
I've seen some evidence to the contrary.
Is that right? Well, we've seen little beyond threatening letters, and I intend to make sure it stays that
How you
way.
gonna do that, dude?
Do you have any of these letters I might have a look at?
Yes, I have one. I'll give it to you before you leave.
Thank you. Your cooperation is much appreciated.
I like that.
Happy to help.
I like his glasses, too.
Here's that letter you were asking about.
To the engineers of chaos and destruction, you are working in direct opposition to the natural order of things. These so-called improvements will be the downfall of our society. If you do not cease your unholy experiments, the Redites will be forced to take action. You have been warned. PF.
Now that's interesting. Whoever wrote this letter signed it with initials. They can't have been so stupid as to make themselves so easily identifiable, can they? I wouldn't get...
Interesting. Okay, nothing's connecting yet, but we got a lot of leads. That's where his wife lives with his kids. We still gotta go to the Collusion Cab Depot. And yeah. Alright, how we know she would beat him. Well, the coffee house ladies mentioned that too. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up right there, guys. Drop a like if you haven't. Drop a sub if you're new. We are gonna call this lots of leads. I think that's leads. I'm an idiot. Anyway.